Hello. Uh, Excuse the low quality, please. Best I can do. But what I am doing is. Okay, first, let me explain that the previous consistent theme of this channel, or, Finding Lost Media, will continue in some way or another, or at least weird media. I find weird things in the about. But the specific lost media I was looking for, or, or any further progress relies on my contacting a specific person, and I have tried to no reply. So I think I'll be moving on. Okay, now that that's addressed, I like quizzes. So, quizzes as I will do. And I happen to be a big fan of the game Undertale. Uh, and, well, I think I have a pretty decent wealth of knowledge about the game. So, on Nakora, or Nakora Quota, sorry, there's this user, or Kokichi Oma Trash, Kitty Fox, who, who has made a quiz. How well do you know Undertale? 100 questions. All credit to the questions is them. All credit to images will be given by the quiz taker, presumably. Since they are making sure to state that they are not theirs, and none of those pictures are going to be mine either. I would also like to point out that just in case any audio files play most likely music from the Undertale soundtrack, none of those are mine. I do not own them. Do not pay me any money. Pay only to the people who actually own those pieces of music. And I think that covers everything I want to say first. So, 100 questions. I think this will be good. First question. Let's start off with an easy question. Oh, and also, I will link the quiz in question in the description if you wish to take it yourself before you finish watching me doing this. So, let's start off with an easy question. Which of the following is not a soul trait in the game? Patience, integrity, honesty, or justice? That would be honesty. The seven traits are determination, bravery, uh, justice, kindness. I can't remember whether patience or integrity goes first in the rainbow spectrum. They're different shades of blue and purple, which is perseverance, sorry. Uh, I have seen fan art of honesty as a soul trait, though. Second question, still gonna be easy. What is Sans' favorite condiment? Ketchup, mustard, relish, or none of the above? Ketchup. His burger's literally drowned in the stuff. Third question. Still on super easy baby wimp mode. Sounds like Undine. Oh, look, the question is about her. What weapon does he use? Knife, bones, bow and arrow, or spears? Spears, but the real question is of what? I've seen at least one fan interpretation saying they're made of water, but. Fourth question. It's going to stay super easy until, like, question 10. Which of the following is one of Gaster's followers? Monster Kid, Sans, Goner Kid, or Nafstablook? Okay. I know where they're going here. They're going for Goner Kid. But I do not necessarily agree with the questioner on this. I will, as is evident from the way we've been talking about previous questions, I'm assuming that the viewer is familiar with the game proper, but I'm not assuming they'll be familiar with all the bonus stuff, the Easter eggs, the trivia, which is where I am feeling confident in myself doing this. So, for reference, Goner Kid is a character who looks like a black and white version of Monster Kid, who only appears if a certain number is generated in a certain part of a code, or a set of numbers generated in that part of a code. And these things will not happen on every playthrough. Technically, only three other black and white characters who appear in similar conditions are identified as Gaster's followers. But Goner Kid is the closest to being among them, rather than the other three who are either main or supporting characters. So, that. Fifth question. What is the attack and defense of Sans? Ooh, good one. They're expecting this to be easy because of all the Sans fangirls, I suspect. $999 attack and 1 defense. $999 for both attack and defense. 1 for both. Or 395 attack and 248 defense, which is referenced as being a reference to a different game, so obviously the incorrect one. And while I did not know the exact amount, I know, based on the answers I'm being given, that it's the first one. 999 attack and 1 defense. Sixth question. Which of these is not a boss fight? Torio, Papyrus, Omega Flowey, or none of the above? Oh, that's a difficult one. Sort of. I know that Torio and Papyrus are boss fights, so they're not the answer. And yeah, I think Omega Flowey is usually counted as a boss, so we'll go with none of the above. Seventh question. How many routes are there and what are they called? And without even looking at the answers, Pacifist, No Mercy, and neutral, but there are several versions of neutral. No Mercy is also likely to be referred to as genocide if you do research on this. I believe that No Mercy is the one preferred by Toby Fox, mastermind behind the game. But either name is valid in fan discourse. I don't know if this is going based on fan discourse, though. Five Roots, pacifist genocide. Okay, we're going for that. Neutral, soulless pacifist and soulless genocide. Oh, oh, oh. Ooh. That was another angle I was not expecting. The, the basic explanation for, or those of you who don't know, is soulless means that uh, a soulless game is one that you play after a genocide round, because within the storyline of the game, your soul is taken. So, okay, that was good. So it might be the first one: pacifist genocide, neutral soulless pacifist, and soulless genocide. Second option: five routes: mercy, kill, mercy, and kill. Oh, merciful killer and serial killer. Several of those don't exist. I know it's not that one. Three routes: pacifist, genocide, and normal. No such thing as normal. Three routes: pacifist, love, and neutral. While love is a fitting name for the genocide slash no mercy, given that love, spoiler alert, means level of violence, I know that that's not anyone's actual name, or any route's actual name, so pacifist, genocide, neutral, soulless pacifist, soulless genocide. Eve question: who's the royal scientist for Alphys? Uh, Nobody sans Ascor or Gaster. Uh, and that's weird. Just because technically Gaster was Alphys' superior, and then got erased from having ever existed, so that, as far as anyone's concerned, and it's always been Alphys. But I assume they're going for Gaster. Ninth question: what is the only canon ship Alphys X Undyne, Papyrus X Undyne, Papyrus X Metaton, or Torio X Sans? And the answer would be Alphys X Undyne. Yay, queer love. Or should I do the right fist? Okay. Yes, Papyrus and Undyne train together. Yes, Torio and Sans have the the heartwarming bond. Yes, Papyrus does at one phone call that doesn't even necessarily happen. It's optional. Call Mettaton a sexy rectangle, and then retracts that once Mettaton is not a rectangle. But Alphys X Undyne is canon. 10th question. It's going to be a bit harder now. What two fonts is WD Gaster named after? Gaster was named after a font. Wingdings and Comic Sans. Wingdings and Aster. Comic Sans and Papyrus, or he's only named after Wingdings. I seem to vaguely remember the Aster part. Or, Wingdings is definitely one of them, but I think Aster. Okay. 11th question. What does Kira hate? Monsters, chocolate, Frisk, or humanity? Humanity. Kira hated humanity. Taken straight from Asriel's mouth. I will take this point to note that I, well, in fact, she is employed, or they are employed rather, to at least like chocolate. The thing that you fans will find if you research about Kara loathing white chocolate, not canon. That is never said in game, and so far as I know, Toby Fox has never confirmed it. So, yeah, answer humanity and go. And 12th question. In the True Lab, this only happens if you've done a pacifist route, or for those who haven't. What can you buy in the vending machine? Crisps, cookies, chips, or instant noodles? Well, I think technically Elvis refers to them as potato chips at one point, but in general, the item name is potato chips. 13th question. Who remembers what happens when you reset? And yes, only one can remember. Torio, Flowey, Azrio, or Sans? Well, assuming we're going by who's left at the beginning of the game, then Flowey. Common interpretation and is that Sans can remember, but he doesn't actually give any evidence of remembering that you've reset. And he he can tell, well, if you've done a partial reset as opposed to a true reset in the Judgment Hall, unofficial name, and he, he does have deja vu in his first appearance, but only if you turn around and before he tells you to. So, Flowey. 14th question. What song plays when you fight Torio? Heartache, whatever OST 10 was, Your Best Friend, or OST 50? That would be Heartache. I was worried for a moment that the choice was going to be between Heartache and Heartbroken, since I confused that at one point. By the way, the OST original soundtrack 10 is Ghost Fight, and I don't remember which one 50 is, but Heartache is 12, I think. 15th question. What philosophy does Flowey live off? Do you think that the worst person can change? It's, it's kill or be killed. I believe in you, or none of the above. It's kill or be killed. Note that do you think that the worst person can seem is the closest to being in Sans' philosophy, but it is not. It is a question he asks you to challenge you based on Papyrus's I believe in you. 16th question. Who is Monster Kid's idol? Um, Undyne, until the pacifist epilogue where it's Papyrus, but between The two of them, Asgore and Alphys, undying. 17th question. Who is the creator of Undertale? Scott Cawthon. No, that's Five Nights at Freddy's. Toby Fox. Katy Perry. Or none of the above. If Katy Perry did something with Undertale, I would be interested. But, yeah, in case it wasn't obvious from my commentary, Toby. 18th question. Who makes her soul yellow in their fight? Well, technically, between Muffet, Metaton Sands, and Undyne, Metaton, Metaton is the battle where your heart is yellow, and the only such one. Technically, what makes your heart yellow in universe is a combination of Alphys's tech and the uh, spirit powers of the Justice Child. But for this question's purposes, we're going for Metaton. 19th question. Who does Azrael turn into in the pacifist's final boss fight? Himself, but more powerful? Ah, yes. Our options are Omega Flowey, Azrael the god of Hyperdeath, Alpha Azrael, or none of the above. It's Hyperdeath. 20th question. It's going to be a bit harder now. What does the Papyrus feed Sans' pet rock? This is something that you would find out if you looked around in their house. It's sprinkles, I believe. Between spaghetti, hot dogs, ketchup, and sprinkles, it's sprinkles. 21st question. What is the first word in the game? A monster speaks it to you. Howdy! From Flowey. And between that, name 2 and Undertale.exe. Yeah, it's howdy. Technically, yeah, name or, or the game title, Undertale, are the first word you see if you boot up the game. But name is just a disembodied selection screen. And 2 is a reference to Once Upon a Time, and again, the teller is disembodied. Although some fan interpretation goes by Kira, but so far it's been based on canon. So, howdy. 22nd question. What kind of pie do you get in hard mode from Torio? Hard mode being a mode that only happens if you decide to name yourself, or rather, the Fallen Child with Kira Frisk and Snail Pie. So he doesn't put it off this time. The other options are Butterscotch Cinnamon Pie, which is the normal, Apple and Pumpkin. There are no Apple and Pumpkin pies in the game. So, Snail. 23rd question. What does Nasbrook do when you fight him? He lowers his HP to be polite. He eventually dies and turns to ashes. He runs away, none of the above. He lowers his hit points to be polite. It's one of the ways that route screws with you. 24th question. What happens when you enter Sans' bedroom? Yes, you can enter Sans' bedroom if you have the key for it. If Sans figures out you can time travel, you'll get the key. that is if you don't kill everyone. But anyway, it's very dark and you can walk anywhere until the players turns on the lights and you're in the self-sustaining tornado of trash. You are walking on the treadmill, and when you get off, everything disappears. It's pitch black and stays that way until you leave. None of the above. I would go with none of the above. It's it's a combination of the first two in real life. It's very dark, or you can walk anywhere, or uh, but as soon as you get the feeling you're going forever, the forest turns on the lights, you're on the treadmill, and the self sustaining tornado of Tress is elsewhere in the room. 25th question. Who was Elvis in love with before having a crush on Undine? Mettaton, Azrael, Torio, or Asgore? It's implied in the quiz with Mettaton that she has a crush on Asgore too. If you answer Asgore, that is. 26th question. How many followers does Gaster have? 3, 2, 5, or 7? Okay, see, this is where it gets tricky with the reference to Goner Kid as a follower, because now we're going with between the options 3, which is the number of characters that are just referred to as Gaster followers. 27th question. Which two characters have voice bites? Don't they all? Flowing, Papyrus, Undying, and Asgore, Mettaton, Sense, Flowing, Mettaton. Oh! They don't mean the sounds used to make their voice. They mean like actual spoken words in a language. And that would be Mettaton. Ooh, yes. Right before the EX stage of his fight. And Flowey making various pain and call out noises during the Omega battle. Technically, there is also a grunting sound that's interpreted as either being Mettaton or Asriel, but I guess this question would interpret it as Mettaton's. 20th question. What is the only Temmie's name in Tem Village that isn't Temmie? Bob. I know this. Larry, Joe, and Billy are other options. Ha ha for the Larry one, but I know it's Bob. Well, technically, we never find out what the Temmie Softkeeper's name is. How would you access the developer room? Beat pacifist, genocide, and neutral. Dodge every single credit. Kill Omega Flowey on a neutral run after sparing everyone else, or complete a Sorgless pacifist run. That would be dodge every single credit. This only applies if you have done pacifists. There will be an end credit styled after the bullet dodging sequences, and if you dodge all of them, you get to see a joking developer's room with Toby the annoying dog. It's that mysterious place in Snowden near where Giftrot lives. What does Flowey call Sans? Legendary Pun Master, Ketchup and Scene Garbage, Smiley Trash Bag, or none of the above. It's Smiley Trash Bag. And at least one epilogue that you only get if you do a neutral route. 31st question. Who is Mettaton's cousin? Napstablook, Asgore, Elvis, or Torio? Napstablook is the closest answer, but I don't know if that's canon. The closest we get in the canon game is that if you enter, spoiler alert, that purple house next to Napstablook's is Mettaton's. And, oh yeah, it is implied that It's referenced that the person employed to be Mettaton is now Luck's cousin. That's right. What song plays when you fight a Mega Flowey? Hopes and Dreams, Megalovania, Your Best Friend, or Your Best Nightmare? Your Best Nightmare. What do love and the XP stand for? Level and experience points. Level of violence and experience points. Level of violence and execution points, or level and execution points. Level of violence and execution points. Congratulations, you have now gotten one of the game's ultimate spoilers. Trivia note. Funny, but if you lower or get Nastabrook to lower their hit points enough to be polite, then one experience point will be lost. But not EXP. If you notice that, then you know something's up. And that's the only point where experience points come up. 34th question. How many times do you have to spare Flowey after fighting Omega Flowey? Oh, okay. This is the first one I'll have trouble with. 8, 13, 10, or none of the above. On an off chance, I'm going to guess 10. 45th question. What is the bathroom in Alphys's lab? It's a bathroom, an elevator to the true lab, a place that when you enter you die because your determination gets extracted and you have to restart from the beginning, or none of the above. It's the second one, elevator to true lab. How does Kira die? Asura gets mad at them and kills them and absorbs her soul and regrets her decision. Committed suicide, got sick. They had to be executed because they tried to destroy the entire underground. Technically, it's both Kira committed suicide and Kira got sick, because Kira committed suicide from poisoning. They probably are doing the got sick as a reference to Asgore getting sick in the same backstory, though. So I didn't go with that. What is Elvis's failed experiment that she keeps secret from everyone? Amalgamates, Master Book, Metatone, or none of the above? Amalgamates. Which button does Asgore Satter with his weapon, fight item, act, or mercy? It's mercy. What does a yellow tile do in the tile puzzle? Complicated one. Sort of. No, there's really only one element to it. It it's lightning, so it electrocutes blue tiles, water that are next to it. So nothing electrocutes you, doesn't let you walk on it, or makes you smell like oranges. Okay, electrocutes you. Doesn't let you walk is red, it makes you smell like oranges is orange, I believe. How many ratings do you need to get to beat Metatone X? 10,000. Next to 20,000, 5,000, and 15,000, it's 10,000. Can you see the annoying dog in Undyne's house after doing a specific action? Yes or no? Yes. There's a specific sink drawer that you have to open where the knives would be. But they're all gone. I wonder why. Maybe it involves a certain dog. On the dates last hanging out with Pyrus, what is the present that he gives you? A cool dude shirt, ketchup, spaghetti, or the obviously incorrect Metaton Neo? Well, technically, he only says outright that it's spaghetti if you say that you know what it is. But if you say that you don't know what it is, he will say that he doesn't know either, although it appears to be spaghetti. So, yeah, spaghetti. Why did Papyrus raise the height of his sink? To fit in more spaghetti, to fit in more bones, because he was too tall to reach the sink at its original height, or he never states why. I think it's to fit in more bones, but I'm not quite sure. If you kill the players in this fight, when is the next time you will see Sans in the game? Waterfall at his Sentry Station, Waterfall with a telescope prank, Hauntland at a hot dog stand, or Judgment Hall. Judgment Hall is the only one of those options where he will appear after you defeat the Papyrus with death. However, Sans might appear earlier than that, though. During the Siren fight, there's a hooded figure in the distance in one of the potential flavor texts that's implied to be him. But between the answers, we have Judgment Hall. What is on the greater dog's spear? A smiling face, a straight or a frowning face, or none of the above. It's a smile. What is the meat in the hot dogs that Sans will sell? A Frankfurter, a dog that is hot, a water sausage, or beef. While a dog that is hot would be in character for Sans, it's a water sausage, which, if you don't know, is revealed to the underground lingo for a cattail frond if you look in the right places. How many knives does Mad Dummy have? Infinite, 1, 10, or 2? It's 1. And I'm all out of knives. Finish the quote. You really are an idiot. From Flowey right before Omega. The other options are er, er, amazing or horrible flair, none of the above. It's idiot. I know it's idiot. Which two monsters can use gray attacks? Only displaying text that cannot hurt the player. Nafslook and Mettaton. And the other options are Mettaton and Mandummy, Nafslook and Mandummy, or gray attacks are fan made. Nafslook's gray attack is really not feeling up to it right now. Sorry. At least I think I might have gotten the order slightly wrong. And Mettaton's is Union mandate a 10-second break. Happy break time. And this answer will give you a free correct or incorrect answer. There you are. Mettaton's happy break. Gray text. Well, I'll go with the free correct answer. We're halfway through. Let's do this. What does Nafslook's gray attacks say? Oh, here's where what I just said is put to the test. I don't feel like fighting right now, sorry. I just can't fight right now, sorry. I know it's not either of those. Really not feeling up to fighting right now, sorry. Or really not feeling up to it right now, sorry. We're really not feeling is the closest, although it's the full word feeling, but I'll go with it. What is the first enemy you encounter, not including Flowey? Vegetoid, Torio, Mode Smaller, Frogget. It's a specific Frogget referred to by fans as the first Frogget. And a genocide one, is it possible to spare Mettaton Neo? Nope, you've gone too far at that point. There are always glitches, but I assume the quiz doesn't account for glitches. Which run is the only time you'll see Kara in person, excluding soulless runs, where Kara will appear at the end? And it's genocide. Either pacifist, neutral genocide, or only in the flashbacks in the pacifist run, but in person, genocide. Is it possible to solve the tile puzzle Mettaton gives you? No, there is a solution, but it's not physically possible to get there before time runs out. No, there's no solution. Yes, there is a solution, or the puzzle is random, and sometimes or sometimes not. I think you can get there in time, but I don't remember the exact time. You have to do it very quickly, though. Why does Alphys reactivate all the puzzles? He doesn't. because he wanted to see if you were good enough to fight Asgore, because he wanted to be a part of your adventure, because he wanted to show monsters how smart humans were, or the reason is up for speculation. I think it's going for because he wanted to be a part of your adventure, based on Metaton's reveal of her. Which of these is not a character? Megosp, Flippy, Vegetoid, or none of the above? It would be Flippy. Megosp does appear on hard mode. When Santa's sleeping at a sentry station, what font are his Z's? Comic Sans, Aster, Wingdings, or Times New Roman? It's Aster, I think. I saw a video on that. I'll link that in the description. What are robots made of? Hopes and dreams, sugar and spice, metal and magic, or snips and snails? It should be snipes. But anyway, metal and magic. It's time for an essay. What is the best thing about Metaton? Legs, nothing, or incorrect answer. Well, Metaton does say that the correct answer is his legs. Which of these characters does not like puns? Haha, it's back to baby mode. It's okay. Sans, Torio, Papyrus, or they all like puns? Well, technically, I'll go with they all like puns, because if Papyrus is... Because when Sans gives his puns, he points out that Papyrus is smiling. I am, and I hate it. Does Undyne have a crush on Alphys? Yes, no, or you have no clue, so you're going to take a 50-50 chance twice. Yes, he does. You don't find Dunwest pacifist, but yeah. Who made the core? Alphys, Asgore, Gaster, or Sans? Well, again, if we're going to not count the technicalities of Gaster being erased from existence and it having been Alphys, as after that, then Gaster. Why is the Papyrus so energetic? He wants to stay healthy, to be better than Sans. He thinks that will help him get into the Royal Guard, or no reasons been given. He thinks it will help him get into the Royal Guard. In a genocide run, does Sans actually count as a kill on the kill counter? Yes, no, or let fate decide? Yeah, it counts. Every kill counts. What is Omega Flowey's love? 9999, 666, 395248, or a really long string of numbers? And I have a hunch it's a really long string. I know it's really expansive. What does the Papyrus consider Flowey to be? A waste of space, a good friend, the best monster in the underground, or they don't meet? A good friend. Poor Papyrus. What does Nasib look try giving you? A ghost sandwich, a ghost soda, a ghost music album, or none of the above? The one that he explicitly tries giving you is a ghost sandwich. A ghost soda never appears, and he's making music albums, or they're making music albums, that's about it. I keep mixing up their pronouns. They were never referred to with pronouns in game, then they were referred to as he in the fan book, then that was changed to they again, so my words are jumbled up. In Undyne's house, what do you need to point the spear at to progress through the story? Soda, tea, hot chocolate, or rainbow chocolate milk, which is not an option? Well, tea is, speaking of obvious correctness or not, the obviously correct choice, or maybe they say blatantly correct in the game. Which one is an Undertale character? To those who find this question confusing, there's multiple correct answers. Only incorrect answer is the one clearly labeled incorrect. So don't click it unless you want one less point, I mean it. Torio, Undyne, Flower, your incorrect answer. Well, I know that multiple. Who calls Undernet the number one social media? Papyrus, Undyne, Elvis, or Metaton? Uh, well, it's either Papyrus or Elvis. I think it's Elvis once you update your phone. Who used to live on Brady and Caddy Street? Elvis, Asgore, Undyne, or Burger Pants? It's Elvis, and then she disappeared. Or Burger Pants lives nearby enough. I think, anyway. When Undyne's house burns down, who does he move in with? Elvis sends in Papyrus, Asgore, or she rebuilds it as soon as it gets burnt down. It never actually gets burned down. It's just that only fire lives there. So, anyway, Sergeant Papyrus. What OST number is Metal Crusher? 50, 64, 55, or 100? Oh, good one. Brain landmarks. Brain landmarks. 40 is. Ooh. Or no. No, it's not. Wait. It's 40. So. Okay, now I have to count a lot. Okay, so I know Ghost Fight is 10. Then. Then the two versions of Home. Then Heartache. Then. Then Sans, Snowden. Yeah. Welcome to Snowden. Mysterious place. Oh, there was enemy approaching. I forgot that. Dog song. Okay, so we're on 20 now. And then Sop. The three songs that happened during the Polaris' date. So that's 24. Then Waterfall. Oh, Quiet Water. Run. The bird that carries you over, or a disproportionately small gap, and we're on 28 now. Memory, yeah, dummy, yeah, the two Tammy ones, the two Nav's book ones. 30, that's 34. A bunch of Undyne ones. I think it's 236. And then you're in Hotland. Ooh. Yes, ooh, the track on the soundtrack, not just a noise I'm making. Uh, 47. 47. Alphys. Then it's so time. And then, okay, so it's track 50. Ooh. What OST numbers Megalovania? 95, 100, 105, or 99? The full amount of tracks is 101. So not 105, and I already know Megalovania is track 100. What OST is number 14? Heartbreak, Bedtime, Sore Heart, or Heartache. Well, Heartache is the only one of those that's a real name of a soundtrack piece, so that. How many times do you have to die from Sans before he starts keeping track of how many times you died? Well, he keeps track through the first 10, I know that. I think it's between 11, 12, 13, and 14, I think it's 11 times. How many times do you need to fight Command Sans? 11, 22, 23, or 24? I'll guess 23, but I'm not sure. '79th question. Two trains. Train A and Train B simultaneous. An arithmetic question? And an Undertale quiz? Were you by any chance, O quiz maker, inspired by Sans and his deleted ice cream scene to screw with speedrunners? Okay, I need to pull up something to write on because I don't want to cheat even on a silly question like this. Okay, I don't want to bore you, and since this has become nearly an hour long video anyway, I'll just make a second part. So, stay tuned, I guess. To stay well.